Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and then just come into a good cross-leg position. Let's have a little wriggle about. Make sure that you're sitting evenly. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. Draw the abdomen towards the spine and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Look down at the floor, look at something that isn't moving. Just focus on the feeling of the inhalation and the feeling of the exhalation. Allowing the chest to expand with the in-breath and to relax with the out-breath. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste. Press your palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into your elbows. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our practice. Raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation. And with the exhalation, turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Again, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. And then gently come back to the center. Come off your lift and then come down into baddangulyasana, virasana. So big toes together, knees apart. Just sit yourself back on your heels for a moment, observing how the shins make contact with the floor. Press the shins consciously into the floor so that the thighs activate. Elevate the heart area upwards and then come forwards, keeping the head lifted, keeping the front chest lifted. Spread your fingers, spread your palms. And then gently come down, pressing the forehead into the floor, stretching into your arms. Listen to the sound of the breath. Listen to the sound of the inhalation and the exhalation. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate breaths. Just come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, and then come up into dog down. Pressing the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, turning the fronts of your thighs inwards. Activating the kneecaps, pressing the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Push the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, lift the fronts of the thighs up towards the tops of the legs. Step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position, bring a couple of blocks for underneath your hands for half uttanasana. And then bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. Have the toes in line with each other, the outside edge of your heels in line with the edge of the mat. And then have your hands on your hips, lift up into the chest. Straighten the legs by tightening the kneecaps. Consciously turn the fronts of your thighs inwards to give you space in your hips. And then with a straight back, with your head lifted, with your elbows winging towards each other behind you, come forwards, hinging at the hips, come forward slowly. Feel that the seat bones lift away from the backs of the thighs as you come down. And then reach down and find the blocks. Just be on the high end of the blocks. Just initially spend a moment to observe how the physical body responds to the pose. Is there even activation in the legs? There's very unlikely to be at the beginning, so spend a little time inside the pose, observing how the legs are activated, how the spine is activated. If you can go down lower, then do. But always with the approach of observing physical activation of the pose, observing the left leg, observing the right leg, trying to get them to mirror each other. Get the less reluctant leg to mirror the more enthusiastic leg. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. But just stay at the level where you're in control of the extension. If you go down too low, then you're doing the pose with your ego. If you go too low, then the knees start to bend, the back starts to round. The legs have to stay straight, the spine has to extend. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then bring your hands into your hips. Bend your knees on the way up if you need to. Come up into a standing position. Just come into konasana. Sorry, into tadasana. Lift up into the chest, elevating your heart area upwards, turning the palms all the way out. Feel like you're an arrow pointing up to the sky. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Again, tighten your kneecaps. Tighten your kneecaps and turn your thighs inwards. Focus on filling the lungs evenly. Focusing on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Finding balance and poise. Bring your arms out nice and wide in toward your chest, and then step or jump your feet apart nice and wide so your feet are as wide apart as your hands. So a little bit wider, Abigail, if you can. Turn your left toes in and the right leg and foot all the way out, and come back to facing the front. Activate the kneecaps. Turn the legs in the opposite way to Tadasana. Turn the legs from the inside out. And then reach over, keeping that right side of the chest long. Look up to the ceiling. Reach up to the ceiling. Do you remember a couple of weeks ago we had the belt in the hands behind the back and we were pulling into the belt? Reactivated the action of the arms. Can you reactivate in that way? Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Feeling where there is resistance, observing where there isn't. Observing where there are areas of dullness and work to activate them. Reach up, come back to the centre, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. Facing the front with the chest. Turning the legs from the big toe side to the little toe side on both legs. Keeping this side of the abdomen long up into the armpit chest. Find the leg and reach up. Look up if you can. Feel the pose from the feet into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs, into the hips, into the spine. into the arms. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then reach up, come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together, coming back into Tadasana. Observe how perhaps your sinuses feel clearer. Once you get a belt, and put the belt over your right shoulder. Gomukhsasana. Come back into Tadasana, feeling how the feet connect to the ground. Turn the shins from the little toe side to the big toe side, so the other way to trikonasana. Tighten your kneecaps, turn the fronts of the thighs in, and then tuck the tailbone in. Lift the heart area to the ceiling, and again turn the palms all the way out. Rotating the upper arms in the sockets. That's particularly important for this pose. Stretch forwards with the left hand and then turn the palm all the way out. At the same time, rotating the arm from the arm socket, from the shoulder socket. Keep reaching away, rotating that upper arm. Even if you drop your chest in order to maintain that turn in the chest, that turn in the arm. And then bend your elbow and assist that hand up towards your neck. Sometimes it helps to just drop the chest a little bit at this stage, just to get the hand as high as you can. And then with the arm in position, reach up into virasana with that right hand. Bend the right elbow, keep the elbow high, and then see, can you take hold behind you? If you can't, then just hold on to the belt. That's what the belt is there for. So go back to your Tadasana. Turning the fronts of the legs inwards, tightening the kneecaps, tucking the tailbone in, drawing the belly button to the spine, drawing the lower ribs to the spine, lifting the heart area, pulling the elbows apart, lifting one elbow to the ceiling, pulling the other down to the floor. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. After you've been there for a little while, just start to creep the hands a little closer together. So some people can get hold of the opposite wrist. I mean, I'm nowhere near that, but some people can. Keep your Tadasana really firm. Lift the toes to activate the legs. Okay, and then release the top arm. Just drop the chest a little, and then the other arm might be difficult to release, but it's not stuck, don't worry, just come back into Tadasana. Turn the palms all the way out. And lift up into the chest. So is your Tadasana a straight line, or are you kind of bending into a banana shape? Keep the legs hitting back, keep the shins hitting back so that the weight is in your heels. Keep the kneecaps tight and keep the fronts of the thighs turning inwards. Tuck the tailbone in, draw the belly button to the spine, draw the lower ribs to the spine. Lift the heart area. So lots of kind of juxtapositions. Just swap the belt over to the left shoulder. And then stretch the right arm forward, spreading the fingers, turn the palm. Again, rotating that upper arm in the socket. That's really important for this pose. And then reach the arm, the hand up towards the neck. And then reach up with the left arm. You'll feel the previous pose in that shoulder, so it's nice to stretch it out. And then bend and see that, bend that elbow And then see, so on this side, I'm always a bit, I can just about get there, but I always start off with the belt on this side, so I'm a bit stiffer in this shoulder, this lower shoulder. So go back to your Tadasana. Go back to the breath. Fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. Empty them from the top to the bottom. Just creep the hands ever closer together. Using the belt or your physical hands. Just allowing the body to release into the pose as well as activate it. So after a little while I can get hold of the hands. Not quite as much as on the other side, but it doesn't really matter. Just do whatever you can. Okay, release that top arm. Release the bottom arm. And then stretch the arms down. And turn the palms all the way out. Feel the openness of the chest. Just listen into the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring your arms forwards, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out. And then just drop that out of the way, and then raise your arms over your head. Working your Tadasana from the feet into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs, into the hips. Tucking the tailbone in, hitting the legs back so that your weight is in your heels, lifting your toes if you can. Abdomen to the spine, lower ribs to the spine, heart area to the ceiling. Abdomen to the diaphragm. Release. And then whichever way you you interlocked your fingers, do the unnatural way. So just do the one without thinking, and then swap the other index finger on top, and then turn the palms and raise your arms over your head. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Release. Come back into Tadasana. And then come down onto all fours. Bring your hands onto the mat. Spread your fingers, spread your palms. Have your hands shoulder width apart for dog down. Step back, have your feet hip width apart. And then come back up into dog down. Just feel how your Svanasana feels different to how it felt at the beginning. Maybe it feels different in the shoulders. Listen to the breath. Activate the legs in Tadasana. Activate the chest and the spine in Tadasana. That same action that we have had in those standing poses, bring it into your dog down. So hit the shins back. Hit the fronts of the shins through to the backs of the shins. Tighten your kneecaps and turn the inner knees towards the wall behind you. Lift the fronts of the thighs up towards the tops of the legs. Turn the fronts of the legs inwards And then push the fronts of the legs through to the backs of the legs. Lift the abdomen to the diaphragm, abdomen to the spine. Lower ribs to the spine, heart area to the collarbone. Breathe even and deep inhalations. Arms are like they're in virasana, but the palms are facing forwards. Okay, come down onto your knees. Sit back on your heels and observe how your energy has changed. Observe that lightness from the inside. And then come forwards, hinging at the hips. Just wriggling into the hips, keeping the seat bones down on the heels, and stretch forwards into Adho Mukha virasana. If you lose contact between the seat bones and the heels, then put a block underneath your head. If that doesn't work, then put a block or a folded blanket between the seat bones and the heels, so that you can consciously lengthen from the lumbar into the sacrum down into the tailbone. Just feel how this opens up the lower back. If it feels too strong for you, then put a block underneath your head so you don't come down so low. Or you can put a bolster between your knees and stretch forwards along the bolster. Keep the arms activated like you're doing virasana. Okay, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into a seated position. Again, just observing how your energy changes with each pose. Just focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate breaths. Come down onto your back and into supta baddangulyasana. Pull the feet towards the seat bones as much as you can, and then let the knees fall apart. Just rest your hands on your lower ribs for a moment. If there's stiffness in your hips, then stamp the heels together. Everyone stamp your heels together. If you've got stiffness in your hips, that can help to reduce it. If that doesn't work, if that doesn't reduce the stiffness in your hips, then put some blocks on the outsides of your thighs. But everyone press the heels and the outside edge of the feet firmly together so that you can lengthen the sacrum away from the lumbar into the tailbone, and then gently turn the tailbone up to the ceiling so that the sacrum area and the lumbar make contact with the mat. Just rest your hands on your lower ribs for a moment and observe as you inhale and exhale. Observe the rise of the abdomen as you inhale, the way that the rib cage expands to accommodate the breath with the in-breath as you inhale, and how it relaxes with the exhalation. So just be conscious of how every breath is unique, how every breath is happening right now. Stretch your arms to the ceiling, interlock the fingers, turn your palms all the way out, and again lengthen your arms along the floor. If there's stiffness in your shoulders, then you can put your hands on a folded blanket or on some blocks just to support your shoulders. Otherwise, just use the floor, just stretching yourself out along the floor. So supta baddangulyasana can be quite a passive pose. There's definite benefits to kind of making the pose passive, but activating the pose from the inside, from the feet to the arms, brings energy into the body. So observe how the lumbar presses into the mat. Lengthen from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, wrists, the palms, but keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Raise your arms and just swap the interlock of the fingers like we did earlier, so the other index finger is on the top of the stack, and then turn the palms all the way out and then lengthen your arms along the floor. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Listening to the breath. Just extending along the floor, pressing the feet together, pressing the heels together, pressing the outside edge of the feet together. Converting that into the turning in of the tailbone, the lengthening from the lumbar into the sacrum, into the tailbone. And then release your arms, just rest your hands on your lower ribs, rest the legs, just let the pose become passive. When you let go of the legs, maybe you observe that the natural curvature returns to the lumbar. Maybe you feel like the body is full of energetic lightness, like a beacon of lightness radiating from the bones and into the muscles. Just let the body relax into the pose, just letting the pose become completely passive. Just feel how the body is full of lightness, like a physical golden light radiating from the core of the physical body. Okay, and then when you're ready, just gently bring your knees together, have your knees together and your feet apart. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, bringing the knees together, having the feet apart, just resting your hips in the opposite direction. So from here, in a moment, we're going to do supta kapotasana. So get hold of the shins, bring the feet as close to the seat bones as you can, shuffle your way into the feet. And then bring your hands around the front of the right knee and pull the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the left foot where it is. So the left leg stays bent, the right knee, pull it into your chest. And then reach down to the shin with the left hand of that, so left hand on the right foot, and then bring that right foot into the inner pelvic bone if you can, or you can just have it on the top of the leg if you can't. And then reach behind the left knee and then draw that left knee in towards the chest, flexing that left heel. So supta kapotasana, stretching out the hamstrings, stretching out the glutes. Keep lengthening the tailbone down to the floor, keeping the sacrum down on the floor. So pulling that left knee in toward your chest with the right foot on top of the left thigh, and then gently release, bring the feet as close to the seat bones as you can. Have the feet as wide apart as your hips, no wider. Keep the right foot bent and where it is, and then reach around the front of the left knee and draw the left knee in towards the chest, flexing that heel. Just pulling that left knee in towards the chest. And then from there, get hold of the left foot with the right hand and bring that left foot across the top of the right thigh, bringing that heel into the inner pelvic bone on the right side if you can, or just along the top of the leg if you can't. And then get hold of the back of the right knee and then draw your body in, draw your knee in towards the chest. Feeling how the tailbone wants to lift, so lengthen it down onto the floor, lengthen the sacrum onto the floor. Flex that right heel, just stretch the hamstrings and the glutes on the left side. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Okay, and then gently release the leg, just uncross the leg, and then just stretch the legs out along the mat, just a straight line to start off with, just releasing into the floor for a moment. And then just pull your knees in towards your chest, have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, and then roll onto your right side, and then stretch out the top leg and come up into a seated position. Just come into cross legs. So sit yourself in cross legs, holding onto your knees and lifting up into your chest, elevating the heart area upwards, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the sound of the breath. And then just bring the feet back into baddangulyasana. So pull the feet in towards you, get hold of the shins, draw the heels in towards the shins. If you sink in the chest for this, then I want you to sit on a lift, sit on a folded blanket. Otherwise, see if you can pull on the shins and roll onto the front edge of the seat bones, hold onto the big toes, and then lift up into the chest. Pushing the heels together, pushing the outside edge of the feet together. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Lifting the abdomen up to the diaphragm, up to the collarbone. If you've got a bad back, then stay at this stage. If you're rolling onto the back edge of your seat bones, then definitely sit on something to give you, like a block or a folded blanket, to give you a little bit more lift. So you need to be able to draw the lumbar spine inwards, in towards the front chest, in towards the abdomen, and then draw the abdomen towards the diaphragm. Draw the abdomen towards the lumbar at the same time. If there's no problem with your back, then come forwards, keeping your head lifted, pushing the heels together, lengthening forwards, just a little bit at a time. Keeping the chest lifted, keeping the head lifted, Bend your elbows into the inner thighs and encourage those inner thighs to lengthen towards the inner knees. If you can reach forwards. If you can't reach the floor, you can use blocks underneath your hands. But all the time, coming forwards with a straight back. Just be on the fingertips, lifting up into the chest. Okay, and then gently come back to the center, hold onto the shins or the big toes and lift up into the chest. And from there, just come back into cross legs or half padmasana, whichever is appropriate for you. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just allowing the breath to just settle. And then gently turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across your ribs and your shoulders, observing the balance of your seat bones and just ensuring that you're not rolling over onto that right seat bone. You're turning from the abdomen, you're turning the ribs and the shoulders so that the seat bones feel level. And then gently come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. And then turn to the left. And then very gently come back to the center. And then just bring yourself back down onto the floor, but get a bolster where it's handy, because we're going to come into viparita karanhi with the bolster underneath us. Just come down onto your back, pull your feet in towards the seat bones, and then lift the seat bones up. Place the bolster underneath the lower back so the sacrum is also supported, and then gather your shoulder blades together. Just come right up onto the tops of the shoulders, and then bend your knees and stretch your legs up to the ceiling. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate breaths. Turning the fronts of the legs inwards like you do in Tadasana. Keeping the kneecaps tightened. Keeping the thigh muscles activated. Pushing from the seat bones up into the heels. Pressing the seat bones kind of down to the floor. Lengthening the heels up to the ceiling. Coming right onto the tops of the shoulders. If you want to, from here, you can just roll yourself up, support your back, have the elbows close together, and then come up into shoulder stand. So this is without the support underneath your shoulders, so it can feel quite difficult to straighten up, but just the inversion gives you plenty of immune system response in a good way. Same right on the tops of the shoulders. And then you just slide your hands down your back and bring yourself back onto your bolster for viparita karanhi. So just a brief shoulder stand. So without the extra lift underneath the shoulders, it can be difficult to stay for too long. So it's just good to go up briefly. If you've got high or low blood pressure, don't stay with the legs in the air for too long. You can bring them down, otherwise stay. If you're on a period, don't stay with the legs in the air for too long. Again, just bring the legs down. Just stay with the bolster underneath you. But if you can stay a little longer, then do. Okay, and then bend your knees, bring your feet back down onto the floor. Just stay with the bolster underneath the seat bones for a moment. With the feet flat on the floor, you can even stretch your arms over your head, just resting your arms on the floor over your head. Armpit chest facing the ceiling, nice and open. Breathing from the bottom of the lungs to the top, emptying from the top of the lungs to the bottom. Okay, and then just lift the seat bones, roll the bolster away underneath your knees. Get a folded blanket for underneath your head. Just making sure that it's evenly folded. Up onto your elbows, make sure you're in a good straight line. And then just allow your body to gently release into the floor. Close your eyes and allow the physical body to consciously release. Unhooking the muscles from the bones. letting the body become heavy. Acknowledging that feeling of energetic lightness that radiates from the core of the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Filling the body with positive energy of the universe that we have ingested through inhalation. Just feeling that sense of well-being that radiates from the core, radiating into the organs and the muscles and the skin and the flesh. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just gently wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, and then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have the knees together, the feet apart, and then draw your knees in towards your chest, have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, a gentle massage on the spine. And then gently roll over onto your right side, stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position, just final cross legs with your hands in the masti, a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose. Bring the breath in through the nose down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our day as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you've really lifted your energy and given yourself some good positive energy to put into